a dead girl. This was what got us going, me and Mark.
The question of who killed Laura Palmer resonated around the world.
In 1990, there was nothing on television. It was a desert.
Entering the town of Twin Peaks.
The pilot aired, and it became a little bit of a sensation.
The show was both dangerous and exhilarating.
Culturally, it was a game changer.
You can't watch television right now without seeing the imprint of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about.
I didn't watch television. It was the lamest thing you could do. But then I found out, oh, it's David Lynch. What?
I was there when David Lynch and Mark Frost came in to pitch the original Twin Peaks. I had seen David's movie, Blue Velvet. Frankly, I was scared, because Blue Velvet scared the crap out of me. Much to my surprise, in walked the most Midwestern, polite, soft-spoken man. And we said, absolutely, let's develop it.
Mark Frost was a TV guy, best known for the work he did on Hill Street Blues, and had a sense of how you tell a story in that medium.
Mark and David were a really wonderful melding of sensibilities, where Mark had thoughtful television sensibilities, and David Lynch was David Lynch.
You can ask it now.
Is it a police procedural? Yes. Is it a soap opera? Yes. Is it this sort of avant-garde, surrealist, psychosexual stream of consciousness? Yes, it's all of these things and more.
There was this freedom that Lynch seemed to have to explore these characters in a different way that you don't ever see on television.
Are you using drugs, Bobby?
Nope. Alcohol.
Alcohol's a drug.
Twin Peaks basically proved that there wasn't just one way to make television.
Somehow, Lynch was able to plant a flag and say we can make weird, creative art in the most mainstream places of all, primetime television on a major network. It just made no sense.
David Lynch was really the first filmmaker to make television.
David Lynch brought not just the auteur theory to TV, but he brought a framing style and a cinematic style that didn't exist before.
It felt like watching a movie, but a movie that just kind of went on for hours and hours.
I see it as a film. Instead of going on a truck to a theater, it goes on a truck to the TV.
Oh, Andy.
Oh, Punky.
I'm pregnant.
All across the country, 11.5 million Americans planted themselves in front of the television.
You probably wonder who killed Laura Palmer.
The outcome is considered top secret.
We knew it was going to be something special. We just didn't know how. So when it blossomed like it did, entering into the consciousness of the world, it was a little overwhelming.
Whatever the zeitgeist of the culture at the time, that was not Beverly Hills 90210. It seemed to really hook into Twin Peaks.
We were there, 9 p.m., watching the pilot episode, and as soon as Pete Martell says the words, "She's dead," wrapped in plastic, we were hooked.
You started hearing about the idea of the water cooler effect, people talking about it at work the next day, and you also heard about Twin Peaks parties.
Just the idea of something that was event television became its legacy. It would be on for an hour, but it actually necessitated discussion following it.
I didn't know how long it was going to take for people to kind of get it, but to see that it happened really quickly was fascinating.
Man, it not only went well in America, but it went well pretty much every place it played. Some places through the roof. It was surreal, is what it was.
I went to David and I said, wow, this is crazy. Everyone loves this thing. And he said, enjoy it, because it's not always this way. And I was like, oh, okay.
The arrival of Twin Peaks in 1990 was like nothing the world had ever experienced before.
It was something different than that just pulled you in.
It was blazing its own trail. and it was glorious.
Twin Peaks was my gateway drug that inspired me to do this for a living.
I'm sterile.
Even though it didn't go on for very long, it changed how people saw things.
It died early like James Dean, you know, that was part of the magic of it.
The first season of Twin Peaks hit and it really caught on. But the second season, the ratings fell off.
The network moved it to Saturday night, and Saturday night, was not the night the younger demographic was home watching TV.
And also, they told you who killed Laura Palmer, which for some fans ended the show. And then the Gulf War happened. You gotta remember, that was the first live television war.
The final 2 episodes were pretty devastating because it has a bunch of cliffhangers.
That left a lot of people really unsatisfied for a long, long time.
There were some people when Twin Peaks ended that were like, there are all these loose ends. You gotta remember, this is before the internet, before YouTube, before the streams.
There was still this community of fans who wanted more.
I was still very much interested in Twin Peaks. I thought there was a lot to talk about. So I co-produced the magazine Wrapped in Plastic for about 13 years with my partner, Craig Miller.
We formed this little tight-knit group through Wrapped in Plastic, the magazine, and then the Twin Peaks Festival was born.
The fan world and the way that they have rallied around this show, it's a community.
Getting into Twin Peaks in the 90s was difficult. There was no way for anyone to go onto their computer or anything like that to watch Twin Peaks. People had copies of the VHS tapes they would circulate, but there really wasn't a lot of avenues for people to talk about it in depth.
Hey.
One of the biggest changes that happened was when there were streaming services, and that brought in a new generation of fans.
The show found its way to a lot of different people all around the world, actually, and the Twin Peaks universe started to explode like a mushroom cloud.
This little gold digger just wants his money.
The timeless quality of this show is very evident. To this day, there are people that are young that are discovering the original Twin Peaks on Tumblr or Twitter.
Twin Peaks stays relevant and important because Twin Peaks stayed subversive and didn't define itself.
The fact that it wasn't on for a long period of time allowed it to be celebrated like a rock star who dies at the age of 27.
It now has this place in history.
You can't really watch television right now without seeing the imprint of Twin Peaks and David Lynch. In our small way at Ray Donovan, the Hollywood noir, the way we shoot, we now write visually.
When JJ and I created Lost together, JJ just said, we aspire to Twin Peaks. We should be so lucky to have the cultural impact and the artistic impact that Twin Peaks did.
In working with different writers on different shows since Twin Peaks, Desperate Housewives or Sex and the City, the writers would say to me, I didn't really think it was possible to do this, but because of Twin Peaks, I felt empowered. This is my vision.
There's people who have come up to me over the last 25 years who just still worship Twin Peaks. And a lot of them weren't alive when it was on the air in 1990.
There's no other show that's ever been like it. There probably will never be another show like it.
There must be something in it that gets people to a good place in the department of thinking and feeling.
Join us for pie. Love to. 3 each.
The fan world and Twin Peaks kept the memory alive.
Great.
Twin Peaks was a phenomenon when it started.
It's a place both wonderful and strange.
It's just a magical world that brings you into really dark places.
I had just never seen anything that was so sad and so hilarious.
We want to see what happens next.
It's a continuing story, so it is continuing.
I love Twin Peaks. I love the tone, the mood, the characters.
You can never get tired of discussing it, exploring it, watching it.
Are you quite finished?
Everything about it is unique, and I think that's why it still resonates today, even with my children who are 9 and 12.
Who killed Laura Palmer?
It created this community that just keeps growing.
It just kind of kept expanding outwards.
We're gonna need some more coffee.
The fans of the show love the show so much that they create artwork.
These are true artists that are a fan of an artist.
The fan art alone is extraordinary.
I will meet you at the Portland airport. Oregon!
Fandom. Really, really passionate fandom. I feel has kept it alive.
It's just crazy how this show keeps on influencing people through art, fashion, music.
You can't really not be influenced by the soundtrack, especially for me.
The music is almost like a portal for entering that world of the Pacific Northwest.
I really enjoyed that David Lynch would use the buzzing of electrical wires as a sound to set up a mood.
The music was gripping, and we thought, how amazing would it be to walk into a place and see that happening live?
We cover all the bases of the original material that was in Twin Peaks, but we also were inspired to write our own music.
These are people that the show is a very powerful influence on creatively, and it's a community.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Francine, the Lucid Dream.
I had this really weird idea. I was like, why don't we do a Twin Peaks burlesque night? The quirky humor and the really dark, crazy stuff that happens in Twin Peaks is the perfect combo for burlesque.
Anybody that creates is a friend of mine.
We were thrilled when David Lynch and Mark Frost walked in the doors of Showtime to say, we want to bring Twin Peaks back.
When Mark Frost, David Lynch simultaneously messaged the post, Twin Peaks is coming back in style. I will say that I cried.
Twitter was exploding, my phone was exploding, beep, 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 beep.
I had to turn the notifications off because it was disrupting my work.
Entering back into the working relationship with David has been an absolute joy. I count myself right now one of the luckiest people working.
Yeah, that's beautiful, like that.
It's like putting on a glove you lost for 25 years, and you're all excited, and it fits perfectly.
It's still very dreamlike.
Just being with everybody again has been sort of like putting the old band back together kind of thing.
Damn good coffee!
I'm so excited.
We just can't wait to see what comes next.
Whatever they give us is going to be a gift.
We're dressing up. I've already got my outfit. Maybe get some cherry pie and a cup of coffee.
Welcome back, it's a Cooper.
Thank you so much.
The fans kept the memory alive, and they're about to be rewarded.
Dreams are more vivid this time.
Prepare to be a little out of your comfort zone in the best possible way.
It's mysterious to the actors. Only Mr. Lynch knows what's going on.
And it's going to be a treat every frickin' night for people to watch it.
Keep your eye on the donut, not on the hole.
I'm back and ready.